Hello, I'm your instructor, Bernard Norcott-Mahany. Welcome to Classical Mythology, spring of 2024. So, just a couple things. I did want you to see my face, hear my voice, and wanted to talk a little bit about the course, which will be starting on Tuesday. The 16th is when the class officially starts, and you need to sort of hit the ground running. So, wanted to go over a few things. First of all, the textbook that we're using is this book, Classical Mythology in Context, 2nd edition by Lisa Maurizio. Now, there is a 1st edition. It has a blue cover. It has Athena's face on it. That will do you little good after about chapter 1 or 2. Chapter 3 is, a lot of it is changed. Some chapters are totally different. Chapter 10, for instance, is totally different from what. So, basically, if you have 1st edition, turn that back in, get the 2nd edition of Lisa Maurizio. And remember, it's going to have this sort of sea green cover, and it's got the head of Hades. That's the head of Hades on there. That's what you're going to be using for most of the course, for 80% of the class. The other work that you'll be using is Virgil's Aeneid. This is an abridged version of the Aeneid, translated by Stanley Lombardo, also abridged by Stanley Lombardo. So it's called The Essential Iliad and Stanley Lombardo. Now, there is another abridgment by Barry Powell called The Aeneid, The Essential Books. That would do. It's just that I'm going to be referring to the Lombardo translation. And even though I think Powell is certainly an adequate translator, I think Lombardo is a better poet. And since the Aeneid is in poetry, I think that he captures some of Virgil's power much better than Powell does. So that would be my advice. There are also dozens of translations of the Aeneid, half dozen of which are excellent, but you'd be reading the whole work, and if you've got the time to do that, there's something to be said for that. Lombardo has the whole work, Powell has the whole work, and then there are other people like Fagles and Fitzgerald and Lind, who are all excellent translators. So Humphreys. So any of those would be fine, but the one that we're going to be talking about will be this one. So it sort of makes sense for you to get this one. This first week, that's the main thing. So for right now, that I want to really talk about, because I don't have very much time. You're going to do 3 things in this first week. So starting on the 16th, okay, I would urge you to go to the website and acclimate yourself to the instructional website on Canvas. So go to the Canvas site for the class and see what you have to do. For one thing, there's the syllabus there, which you should. My recommendation would be that you print out the syllabus. The syllabus is what we'll be sort of working from it during the class. There is a quiz called an orientation quiz, which is largely based on the syllabus. I think there are a couple things not in the syllabus that are in that quiz. That's just basically to make sure that you've read the syllabus. I mean, I have no real way of checking other than this. So the orientation quiz, which is based on the syllabus, is a multiple choice. I think there are some true false as well. And you have till Friday, so 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, the 19th Friday, you have till Friday to complete that orientation quiz. It's a 20-question quiz. It's pretty easy. You can, if you print out the syllabus, you can have the syllabus right there and you can go through it. You can also retake this orientation quiz so that you get the full 20 points. The other thing that you need to do by Friday is you need to do a class introduction. So here you are going to introduce yourself to the class. You're going to say 3 things about yourself. You're going to basically write a paragraph about yourself, what you like, why you're in the class maybe, what you're studying or what your hopes for the future are. That's up to you, what you choose to present, but you're going to be presenting yourself to the class. I've already posted on that, so you'll see my post. Once you post, you'll be able to see any other posts that are made. The class introductions is also worth 20 points. The total number of points for the class is 700. So, 20 points is not nothing. So I would say make sure you get these easy ones in, the orientation quiz, the class introductions. To get the full 20 points, you need to post about yourself. You need to reply to at least one fellow student, welcoming them to the class and responding to something in their post. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. The discussion boards, there's not really a wrong answer. So in the discussion boards, don't worry about what you say doesn't seem like much. The point is, this is if you do it, you get the points. Now, when we get to the discussion boards on the material, obviously, if you say absolutely nothing in your post, you just ramble and say nothing, or if you reply to a fellow student saying I agree and nothing else, obviously I'm not going to give you full credit for that, because that really requires no effort on your part at all. So those two things are both due on the 19th, which is Friday. On the 21st, which is Sunday, which is when most of the assignments are going to be due, you have to make 5 total posts on the beginning of chapter 2 in the book. Chapter 2 in the book deals with the creation story, and it looks at Hesiod's Theogony. So this work by a guy named Hesiod called the Theogony, which means the birth of the generations of the gods. So you got to read that and post on it. There are other stuff in the beginning of chapter 2 which you should also read, but the main thing I want you to focus on is Hesiod's Theogony. Now, you have to make 5 posts. You have to make 3 posts of your own on your reading, and then you have to reply to 2 fellow students to get the full credit for that. It's also 20 points. If you get, for each post up to 2 posts that you get done early, by early I mean 2 days before the due date, so this will be Friday. If you get 2 posts in, you would also get 2 extra credit points. So that is a way to also build up a bank of points for that total point count at the end. The chief reason for taking a class is to learn the material and to better yourself by learning the material. So you interact with the material, it has some effect on you, you respond to it, you grow by your interaction with the material. That's the ideal. But in the real world, they also are looking at grades on a report card, and so you want to get the points. So the discussion boards, as long as you make substantive posts and not, just nothing, you will get full credit. And so there's no real reason for you not to have 100% on the discussion boards, which are 120 points, I think, of the total 700. So that's a big chunk right there. So to recap, go to the Canvas site on Tuesday. That's the first day you can go. Print out the syllabus would be my advice, so you have a printed copy of the syllabus as well as the online copy, which will always be there. So you got that. Take the orientation quiz, and if you don't get 20 points, retake it until you get 20 points. That's due on Friday. Also, introduce yourself to the class. That should take very little time on your part. There's no real reason why you can't get this fully done. You need to post, and you need to reply to 1 fellow student. So again, on Tuesday, I would recommend you make your post. Make your personal post right there. And then once you've made your post, personally, I would wait a couple of days. I'd wait maybe to Wednesday or Thursday, and then I'd look through and I'd see other people's, and then I'd find one, I really sort of connect with this person, and then reply to that person. That would be my recommendation. That way you make sure you get it done. And you also have a little wiggle room if you forget on Thursday to do it, you can get it done on Friday. You will get some credit for just making a post, but you won't get full credit unless you also reply to a fellow student. The third thing, which is due on Sunday, the 21st, okay, that, by the way, is Roger back there. Roger has sort of a cold, and so he's sometimes doing this hacking. Yeah, Roger's a great guy, but sometimes this gets to be distracting, so I apologize. The third thing due on Sunday, the 21st, is your posts, 3 posts of your own, 3 separate posts of your own based on your reading, and then replies to 2 fellow students. Now, I want to address one possible objection, or one possible what about? What if you don't have the textbook? What if the bookstore is out of the textbook? What if you don't have time to get the textbook? What if you've ordered the textbook online, which is fine, and it's not going to come until the 25th or something like that? That's not something you need to worry about. If you go to the Canvas website, the class is organized in modules. If you look at the module for Chapter 2, I have a copy of Hesiod's Theogony. It's in a different translation than the Lombardo translation, but it's a legitimate translation. It's the translation that was used for the first edition. And it's annotated, meaning that I've added notes. So there are notes on it as well, which I think help you maybe understand it better. So if you don't have the textbook, that's not a worry. There are mini lectures that I've got, like little video lectures that I've done on some key points in each chapter. You can look at those and you can respond to those. You can also look at the Hesiod Theogony translation that is in a PDF file in Module 2, and you can respond to that. So there's really no reason why you can't get the assignment done, even if you don't have the textbook. So if you do have questions, my preference would be that you write to me in Canvas, because I check Canvas every day, and that way I'm going to respond to you more quickly. My campus email I check a couple times a week, so that there'll be some lag time if you just use that. If it's an absolute emergency, you can call my cell phone number, which is in the syllabus. That way you can get in touch with me. But I'm hoping for a good term. I'm hoping that you enjoy the material. I've been doing stuff with classics pretty much my entire life. The classical works still have some interest to me. I find that what the points that they raise, the questions they raise, are important. They're important not just to the ancient Greeks, but to us. And by looking at how they respond to sort of the world, we can also make a judgment on how we respond to the world, and how is that different, how does it have to be different, and so forth. So I'm hoping that you have an interesting semester, that it works out well. I will likely be something of a pest if you start to fall behind, because I want everyone to actually succeed, and I want everyone to succeed point-wise as well, because in the real world, they look at the points. So good luck, and check out the website, get those assignments done this coming week, and I'll check back in with you through emails and so forth as I see whether you're getting stuff done. Right? Bye for now.